Greetings to all my dear viewers. Welcome to today's video, which will focus on a human path towards achieving a long-lasting peace between Ukraine and Russia. So, as we move further, we arrive at witnessing talks unfolding about a possible meeting between Presidents Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky in the near future, for which I have now come forward to offer a path that centers people, law, and basic dignity. Moments like this test more than armies. They test whether we favor principles over brute force, whether we rebuild trust instead of redrawing maps by might. What is decided now will set expectations far beyond Europe, wherever sovereignty and civilian safety are on the line. With that in mind, here is a practical, lawful, and humane way to reduce suffering. Real peace cannot come from threatening another state. Pressuring Ukraine to surrender occupied regions would breach its constitution and the fundamental norm that borders change only through law, not conquest. Any arrangement that rewards territorial seizure invites future wars. Ukraine's territorial integrity is the non-negotiable foundation for any durable settlement. If Russia wants a better future with its neighbors and the wider world, acknowledging that baseline must be step one. The first move should be a truce aimed at unconditional peace, not a breather to rearm, but a firm monitored halt to arm while diplomacy advances. A credible truce means this above all: stop all strikes, missiles, drones, artillery, sabotage, especially those that endanger civilians or hit hospitals, schools, power plants, water systems, and homes. A truce only matters if daily life measurably improves. Ambulances reach patients, lights stay on, and children sleep through the night. Russia, if you truly seek peace, choose commercial concessions over land demands. Establish companies that operate inside Ukraine under Ukrainian law with full transparency, taxation, labor protections, and anti-corruption compliance, subject to oversight by both nations and audit. Accept that market access comes with jurisdiction, not carve-outs. If attacks resumes or monitors are blocked, operations pause. Engagement is not a reward for aggression. It becomes possible only when aggression ends and sovereignty is respected. Ukraine paired the truce with a humanitarian surge. War's physical, psychological, and economic damage lingers long after the smoke clears. Expand demining so fields can be planted and children can play safely. Scale up surgery, rehabilitation, prosthetics, burn care, and mental health support. That is treating minds and bodies together. Repair and winterize homes, prioritizing the elderly and displaced. Equip schools and support teachers to recover lost learning. Fund local and international civil society to document harm, reunite families, protect children, and aid survivors. Let cranes and counselors finally outnumber tanks and shells. Ukraine, protecting your civilians also requires stronger defenses. Truces hold when your people are harder to harm. Reinforce your layered air defenses with interceptors and resilient communications, along with ample spare parts to keep systems running. Empower the safety of your nation with training, maintenance, and logistics. Ukraine ensure expanded prisoners of war exchanges, repatriation of civilians, joint efforts to identify and return missing children, and coordinated work on energy and nuclear safety to prevent catastrophe. These are not concessions, they are practical risk reduction steps that build habits of restraint. I also make a respectful, specific request to Japan. History shows disciplined resolve can meet intimidation. While the early 20th century is complex and distant, one lesson endures. Purposeful action can shape events. Today, Japan is recognized for technological excellence and a deep commitment to a rules-based order. In that spirit, I request Japan to provide some missile interceptors and related defensive systems, along with collaborating with the defense sector of Ukraine to develop more advanced defense systems to shield Ukraine, its hospitals, transport hubs, and power stations. Diplomacy also needs durable scaffolding. Establish a standing contact group, Ukraine, Russia, key European partners, North American allies, and Indo-Pacific democracies to manage the truce day to day and guide the political track. Working groups can address security arrangements, humanitarian needs, economic recovery, justice and accountability, cultural and educational exchange, and environmental remediation. City-to-city partnerships can accelerate housing, transit, and public health solutions. Faith and community leaders can keep channels of empathy open. Diplomacy is not a single summit. It is steady, patient work that shrinks danger and expands room for ordinary life. To Russia, if peace is the goal, demonstrate it. Accept a truce for unconditional peace. Halt the strikes, respect protected sites, and accept transparent monitoring. Trade ultimatums for opportunities that restore dignity and prosperity to ordinary people. To Ukraine, your right to safety within your borders is not up for negotiation. Your resilience in adaptable classrooms, improvising hospitals, and utility crews repairing by flashlight has inspired the world. Keep leading by example. Protect civilians. Treat prisoners humanely. Uphold the law, welcome oversight, root out corruption, and strengthen institutions that will outlast the war. To partners across Europe, North America, the Indo-Pacific, and beyond, keep support steady, humane, and oriented toward de-escalation. Pair every defensive system with training and maintenance. Match words of solidarity with tangible aid that heals. Say clearly that territorial theft will not be rewarded, and share the burdens of humanitarian relief, refugee support, and reconstruction. Justice and reconciliation must advance together. At the same time, communities will need reintegration pathways, amnesties for lesser offenses, and neighbor-to-neighbor reconciliation so people can live side by side again. Aim justice at preventing recurrence as much as punishing wrongdoing. Future security arrangements matter as much as any treaty text. Long-term guarantees Training partnerships and interoperability should focus on defense and civilian protection. In closing, I propose a human path, adopt a truce for unconditional peace that holds harm now, launch a humanitarian surge, strengthen defenses that protect civilians while diplomacy takes root, and invite capable partners, including Japan, to provide some missile interceptors and collaborate with the Ukrainian defense sector to develop more advanced defense systems to safeguard innocent civilians. Judge leadership not by land seized, but by lives safeguarded. That is, choosing neighbors over enemies, law over force, and a humane truce that opens the door to a just and lasting peace. Thank you.